good day to everyone. Okay, so this time what we're going to have today will be all about the set of real numbers. Okay, so when we say real numbers, ano ba to? Totoo. Totoong number. Meron bang fake na number? Wala. Okay, so lahat ng numbers na naiisip ninyo, anumang klase ng number na yon, nasa loob man ito ng Earth's crust or nasa outer space man to, lahat ng numbers, everything, they are all considered real numbers. And what we are going to have today is that we're going to categorize them on, is it natural, is it an integer, a whole number, is it rational or irrational or whatsoever. Okay, for today's lesson we are going to have the following objectives. First is to illustrate the different subsets of real numbers, kasi meron tayong iba't ibang subsets ng real numbers. What is it all about real numbers? So please stay tuned and keep on watching the video. In order for us to understand better all about the sets or the subsets of real numbers, I'm going to present to you an examples, and together with each is the set, so that you'll be able to understand clearly where does this set of numbers belong. Okay, so the real numbers comprises of natural numbers, and these natural numbers also belong to whole numbers, and these natural numbers and whole numbers are also integers, and these natural and whole and integers do belong to rational numbers. And another kind or type of real numbers that we have is the set of irrational numbers. Okay, so I'm going to discuss to you one at a time these rational numbers and irrational numbers. Okay, so we'll go directly to natural numbers first. Natural numbers with the symbol n like this are numbers that are counting numbers. We call them counting numbers because we count starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So that means if you see numbers like 17, 100, 485, they are all natural numbers. Okay? Then these natural numbers that we have can also be identified as whole numbers. Okay, let's see. Yan. So, lahat ng mga counting numbers na nakikita ninyo or nabasa ninyo or that I gave to you, those are all whole numbers then. However, in some, there are exception to these whole numbers kasi may whole number tayo na hindi natural number. Ano yung number na yon? The number zero. Okay? So, ang mga whole numbers natin ay nagsisimula sa zero, 1, up to so on and so forth. Alright? The symbol of our whole number is W, like this one. Now, si 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sabi natin kanina, it's a natural number or counting numbers. Ngayon, ang mga whole numbers naman natin ay ganun din. Si counting numbers kasama plus si 0. Pero si 0, it is not a counting number. Okay? Now, these numbers you see here under whole numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can also be classified as, okay, the next type of real number that we have, the integer. Okay, what is in integer? Integers are numbers that may be positive, negative, and zero. So, uh, your negative integers and positive may be like this, pwedeng negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. 0, going to the right of 0 are the positive numbers. Okay, so going to the left of the zero are negative integers, and we say that as the number goes to the left, it the number decreases, and to the right of zero are positive numbers. And we say that as we go to the right, the number increases. Okay, so these are the integers that we have, the positive, zero, I mean the negative, zero, and positive numbers. Okay, so lahat ng to, kapag nakakita kayo ng let's say negative 100, it's an integer. Negative 7, it's also an integer. Um, pag nakakita kayo ng let's say 72, it's also an integer. 72 is also a whole number, and it is also a natural number. Pero pag halimbawa, binigyan kayo ng number na let's say negative 5 is only an integer. It is not a whole number. It is not a natural number kasi negative na nga siya. Okay? So next, let's proceed on to these numbers you see here, the negative numbers, zero, and the positive numbers, can be categorized as the next type of number, the rational numbers. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng nakikita ninyong number, except if it is irrational, lahat ng yon ay rational. Like, say, for example, okay, yan. So, yung integers natin kanina, which is negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, can be categorized as rational numbers, okay, with our symbol Q. Now, another thing about rational numbers is that these numbers you see, kapag nakakita kayo ng ganitong number, negative 3 halves, it's a rational number. Pero itong si negative 3 halves, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na natural number siya or counting number, di ba? Kasi fraction siya and it is also negative. Hindi natin siya pwedeng sabihin na integer kasi nga fraction siya. Hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin na it is a whole number kasi nga it's a fraction. So what is this? It's just only but a rational number. Okay? To be specific, ang tawag natin sa kanya ay fractions, and all fractions are rational numbers. Then we have another here is an example. 5 and 4 sevenths. Okay, ang 5 and 4 out of 7 is also a rational number. Why? Because it's a mixed number. And mixed numbers are fractions. Kumbaga, may numerator and may denominator, so it can be expressed into ratio. From the word ratio, rational. Alright? Then, next, we have the 5.8. 5.8 is a decimal number. And all decimal numbers can be expressed into fraction, di ba? I already taught you on how to change fraction into decimal, and from decimal to fraction, you may just go in back and watch that video again. Decimal number, however, this decimal number, it is not a counting number kasi you see, it has a decimal point here. It is also not an integer, and it is not a whole number. Then another we have example here is this one, negative 1.8. Negative 1.8 is a decimal number because it has a decimal point. Once you see a decimal point, then therefore it's a decimal number, and it cannot be categorized as natural. It cannot be an integer or a whole number. So ano lang siya? It's only a rational number. Okay? So these examples you see here are all rational numbers. Now, let's proceed to another type of real number that we have here. When do we say that we have an irrational numbers? When we have an irrational numbers, it means that we have numbers that cannot be expressed into a ratio, or wherein there is a numerator A and a denominator B. Kapag hindi daw natin siya may express, kapag ang number hindi daw natin may express into fraction form, therefore it is an irrational number. All right? So these are examples of irrational numbers. We have the e, which is your constant number. It's a constant. And we have the pi, which is also constant. And I do believe you're already aware and you have seen this, but this e is not, maybe not yet. Pero ginagamit kasi ito sa higher level of math. And this one is pi kapag nagsosolve tayo ng area ng circle. And then we have the square root of 2. So, another example is this square root of 2, okay? So, tingnan natin, what are the values of these numbers? In order for us to find the values of these numbers, we have to use a calculator. Okay, so to find the value of b, and if we type it into our calculator, the calculator will give us 2.718, 28182, so on and so forth. This is a non-terminating number. When we say non-terminating, ibig sabihin, walang katapusan. You see an ellipsis here, it means that there are still numbers that you will find in the calculator. Okay, mahabang mahaba to. And then, and you will see that this is also a non-repeating number. So when we say non-repeating, there are the digits of your decimal number does not repeat. And if it so happened that this is non-repeating number and non-terminating number, therefore this number is an irrational number. Okay, next we have the pi. Pi has the value of 3.141599265, and you will see also that this is non-terminating. So, wala na naman siyang katapusan. It is also non-repeating. There are digits here in your decimal that does not repeat itself. Kumbaga, parang walang pattern yung number mo. So, kapag walang pattern, therefore, it's an irrational number. Pi is an irrational number. How about your square root of 2? If we put it into our calculator and solve and find the principal root of the square root of 2, therefore this number is equal to the value of 1.41421356, so on and so forth. This tells us that the square root of 2 is a non-terminating number and a non-repeating number. So, walang katapusan. Kailan mo masasabing irrational siya? Therefore, masasabi mong irrational siya kung it is non-terminating, ibig sabihin, wala siyang katapusan. And then, if it is non-repeating, ibig sabihin, there are digits in your decimal number that has no repeated pattern. So let's see. Let's have the following examples. Put a check mark under each subset of real numbers and where it belongs. Okay, so here is my table, and what you're going to do is to put a check mark if the following real numbers is a rational or irrational, and if it is a rational, check if it is an integer, a whole number, or a natural number. So number one, we have 65. It's a rational number. Okay, diba? Kita mo naman. Then it is not an irrational. If it is a rational number, then see if it is an integer or a whole number or a natural number. So 65, based from the given examples that I presented to you a while ago, we can say that 65 is also an integer. Bakit siya naging integer? It's because it is positive. And since it is positive, therefore, we can consider it to be a whole number. And if it is a whole number, then see if it is a natural number. Since it is a counting number, therefore we have to check on that. Okay. Next, we have number two, the negative 21. Is negative 21 a rational or an irrational number? It is a rational number. it is not an irrational number. And if it is an irrational number, is it an integer? Yes, kasi kita mo naman na negative siya. Is it a whole number? No. Why is it not a whole number? Kasi negative siya. 'Di ba? Sabi natin kanina, a while ago, lahat ng whole numbers ay positive. Pero hindi, may isa kang number doon sa whole number mo na hindi siya positive, hindi rin siya negative. Anong number yon? Yung zero. Then we have the, is this a natural number? Of course, no. Kasi nga, hindi siya whole number. Negative siya. So, hindi siya magiging natural. Diba? When we say counting numbers 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, or natural. The next, let's have number 3. Number 3, we have 17 and 2 out of 5. It's a rational. Kita mo naman, it is expressed already in a ratio wherein there is 2 out of 5. So, it's not an irrational. Then, if it is a rational, you tell if it is an integer or a whole number or a natural number. Is it an integer? No, okay? No, it's not an integer kasi, 'di ba, ang integer natin ay tatlong klase lang. We have the positive, the negative, and the zero numbers. Is this a whole number? No. Is this a natural number? No. Okay. The next we have number 4, square root of 18. Square root of 18 is not a rational number. Okay. If you're going to compute this in the calculator will give you an answer which is a decimal number which is non-terminating and non-repeating number. So this is not a rational. Ano siya? Irrational siya. Is that an integer? No, no, no. Kasi nga, once na irrational na siya, hindi mo siya pwedeng identify as integer, whole number, and natural numbers. Di ba? Kita nyo naman yung present kong set kanina, nakabukod, magkahiwala yung rational sa irrational. Then next, we have number 5, 17.75. This is a rational number. Ma'am, bakit po yan naging rational? See, this is 17 out of 75. This is a decimal number. There's a point, and this can be expressed into the ratio of A out of B. So, if it is a rational number, then is it an integer, a whole number, or a natural number? No, no, no. Kasi decimal number siya, 'di ba? Sabi natin integers may be positive, may be negative, and maybe zero. Kumbaga, yung lahat ng positive numbers mo, lahat ng yon matic, whole number at lahat yon ay integer. Yung negative numbers mo naman na yon, lahat din naman yon ay whole number kaya lang may negative. So, kung decimal siya, therefore it's not an integer. Okay? So, I hope you learned a lot in this lesson. The video on arranging real numbers in increasing and decreasing order will be uploaded soon, so please watch it. Have a nice day. Bye.